Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about circle properties. In this video we will learn about some basic terms that are associated with circle. Okay, so let's begin with the first one and the simplest one, that is center. Now we will learn about them one by one. Center. So in this given diagram you can see O is a center. Okay, and center means the fixed point from which all the points on the circle are equidistant. Means from O, if I will draw any line segment till the boundary of the circle, then all the lines will have the same distance. So what we call to them, for example, from O, if I will draw the line like this, OA, it is already drawn, OA, OB. So these all the lines will be of equal length. If I will draw any other line, then those also will have the same distance or equidistance. So this OA, so this is the second term, radius. This OA, OB, OD are radius. Radius means a line segment which starts from the center and ends on the boundary of a circle. So in the case of a circle, the boundary of a circle is also known as circumference, or we can say the perimeter of a circle is also known as circumference. So any line segment which starts from center and ends on the boundary of a circle, that is known as radius. And all the radius of a circle will always be equal. So this OA will be equal to OB and this will be equal to OD. And for example, if I will draw any other radius, this is not a straight line, I am drawing by rough hand, and suppose I name it F, then OF will also be equal. So all the radius of a circle will always be equal. Okay, so this was the second term. Now after the radius, it is the time for diameter. Diameter means a line segment whose both the end points are on the boundary of a circle. So here you can see that DA is a diameter. Okay, and it's both the end points D and A are on the boundary of a circle. Okay, so a diameter will always pass through its center and it will always divide the circle in two equal parts. It will divide the area of a circle in two equal parts. Okay, so a diameter is always the twice of radius. Okay, for radius we use small r. So this is the relation between diameter and radius. Diameter is twice of radius, or we can say that radius is half of diameter. For example, suppose if this DA length is given 10 centimeter, then OA will be half of this. It will be 5 centimeter. Okay. Now after the diameter, let's move on to the next term, that is a chord. So what is a chord? In this given diagram, MN is a chord. Chord means again a line segment whose both the end points are on the boundary of a circle. Okay. So we can draw the chord from anywhere. This MN is a chord. If I will draw like this ST will also be a chord. Okay. So a chord will always have both the end points are on the boundary of a circle. So this DA is also a chord. So a diameter is also a chord and it is the longest chord of a circle. Okay. So there is a relation between diameter and chord. And what is the relation? That all the diameter will be chord. Yes, suppose this type of question comes in true false. That all the diameter of a circle will be chord. So yes, but the reverse will not be true. If it comes in this form that all the chords of a circle will be diameter, then the answer will be no. Because the chord will or will not be passed through the center. Okay, but a diameter will always pass through its center. Then only it will be called a diameter. A diameter will necessarily pass through its center, but a chord can be passed through anywhere. The condition is it's both the end points should be on the boundary of a circle. Okay, and the longest chord is diameter. Sometimes this type of question come, which is the longest chord in the case of circle. So you can write diameter is the longest chord. So yes, diameter is also a chord. Okay. Now, what is minor segment? What is major segment? So this term segment is associated with chord only. So you can see that this MN is dividing this circle in two parts. This part I'm shading here, and the remaining one, this remaining part. So this part is known as segment. Segment means the area enclosed by the chord and the arc it cuts off. Okay, and the arc it cuts off means this arc from M, D until N. So this area will be known as minor segment. Okay, minor means smaller segment. So a chord will always divide the circle in two segments. One will be minor. Minor means the smaller, and major means the bigger one, or we can say greater one. So a smaller segment, in this case you can see that this one is a smaller segment or minor segment, and the remaining one, this remaining portion, this all will be major segment. Okay. Now coming to the next point, that is the sector. So what is a sector? What is a sector in this given diagram? So you can see, let me take another color for this. So now, what is a sector? This is a sector. Okay. Sector means the area enclosed by two radius OA and OB, and the arc between them means this one. This is a arc. Arc means the continuous part of the boundary of a circle. So this is a arc, and so this part, this one. Okay, we can relate this with pizza slice also, the slice of a pizza. So that also is sector of a circle. So this one is known as sector of a circle. Sector of a circle means the area enclosed by any two radius and the arc between them, that is known as sector of a circle. Later on you will learn how to find out the area of this. There is a simple formula for this that we will learn later, maybe in the next video. Okay. Now again you can see that there will be a minor arc and major arc. After the sector, the next topic is minor arc and major arc. So again, as this MN is a chord, so this you all know this is a chord. So this chord, so this one, this arc, this is a arc. Okay, we can name it anything, M, D, N, and this is a symbol that we use for arc. So this is our minor arc. Again, the smaller arc. This chord is dividing the circumference of a circle is again in two parts. So this is minor arc, and this remaining one from N, if we will move clockwise till M. So this I am writing like this N. I am writing a single point from the center A and M. This is our major arc. So if we are taking MN as a chord, then MDN, this is the minor arc, and the remaining one NAM is major arc. Okay. So for example, if this is a circle, this is a chord A, P and O. So this AOB will be minor arc, and the remaining one BDA will be major arc. Minor arc and major arc. Again, minor stands for smaller and this stands for bigger. Now, come to the next point, that is tangent. It is very important point. Tangent means a line segment which just touches the boundary of a circle from one point. As you can see in this given example, in this given figure, PQ is a tangent. PQ is touching this circle at only one single point. Let's name it Z. Okay. Similarly, RS is a line segment which is touching this Again at a single point, let's name it V. Okay, so PQ and RS are tangent. Tangent means a line segment which only touches the boundary or circumference of the circle from a single point, at a single point. And this point is known as point of tangency. Okay, so it is made up by this only, by this term. So we call it point of tangency. Similarly, here the Z is point of tangency. Okay. Now the next term is secant. And sometime you will get confused between these terms, tangent and secant, but both are totally different. Tangent will touch the circle, touch the boundary of a circle from a single point, and secant is a line segment which will intersect the circle at two distinct points. Okay, let's name it DE. So this DE, you can see it is intersecting, it is cutting, intersecting the boundary of a circle at 2 points. At this point, okay, let's name it anything, G, and this point H. So this DE is intersecting the boundary at 2 points G and H. So this is known as secant. So secant is means, once again I am drawing here, take a circle. Okay, so this is a secant. A secant will always cut, will always intersect the circle at two distinct points. Okay, so this is a secant. And if I will draw like this, let's name it only L. So this is our tangent. Okay, tangent will touch at 1 point and secant will intersect at two distinct points. So these all were only the basics of the basic terms that are associated with circle that you all should know. So now in our next video, we will learn about how to find out the area of this sector. Okay. So till then, goodbye. Take care. Thanks for watching.